internationalism in us, particularly with the study of international relations. So that was very, very keen indeed. But otherwise, it's the membership of the United Nations, it's the membership of the other international organizations that also aroused this strong feeling of reaching out to other peoples and other nations. Yes, very much so.
As Tanzania moved from being part of a larger imperial unit into it being a sovereign state, there was great hope. But as the history of modern Tanzania developed, Tanzania became one of the poorest nations in the world for quite some time. And aid became a major part of your GDP, and aid dependence became a major issue. How were those issues dealt with? And do you think there is a future for Tanzania as a modern self-sustaining state, or will aid be an ongoing part of Tanzania's economic model?
Well, I say the early days were pretty difficult because we were a poor country anyway. We did not have full knowledge of the resource base of the country, really, other than peasant agriculture and peasant livestock keeping. But one other reason that made us continue being poor like that was that we devoted a lot of our resources and of our revenues in helping other countries to become independent. You know that Dar es Salaam, the capital of Tanganyika then, became the headquarters of the African Liberation Committee of the OAU in 1963, just about a year and a half after independence. So, and we really helped the liberation movements in Southern Africa and so on. That took resources, took a lot of resources. And the marvelous thing, the wonder is that the countries such as the Scandinavian countries who sympathized with the cause of liberation in Southern Africa and may not have looked favorably with the armed struggles there, did not feel disappointed or angry with us for helping the liberation movements as Tanzanians. And in order to help us improve the lives of our people, they made aid a very important factor of our relations with us. And that is the aid factor coming in. I mean, even with Britain, which was in cahoots with Rhodesia and the South Africans, they continued giving us aid.
Yes.
And that may have helped us bridge the gap, yeah.
Do you foresee a future in Tanzania beyond aid? Do you see a self-sustaining Tanzania?
Very much so, yes.
How can that be achieved?
Well, because now we have begun to understand what we can do with our resource base. There's a little gas, well, not a little, quite considerable gas found, gas, but also the potential of fisheries, and then the land itself. There are parts of the country that are truly fertile and where production can be greater than it has been in the past. Productivity is there. So there is great hope there. But above all, there is the will to translate independence into self-reliance. Yes. Self-determination, not only politically, but also in managing the economy. So there is potential.
In terms of the economy of Tanzania, privatization has been one of the, I suppose, dominant trends, particularly during your own presidency. And with that comes inward investment. Inward investment obviously brings immediate economic benefit to the country, but do you think that the divisions of the natural resources and the spoils of your country are being fairly doled out?
First, let us start with the nationalization.
Yes. Okay.
That was an important factor in the development of our sense of nationhood and independence, because we are beginning to see the emergence of a class society, a small civil service, a small industrial group that were becoming a powerful class, and they are beginning to adulterate the political process. So I think our founding president decided, no, if we are going to build a sense of egalitarianism here, then the major resources of the country, land and so on, must belong to all the people. And hence the socialist manifesto that was issued in 1967. So we build industries, state industries mostly, but we went on to extremes sometimes. I mean, if you can imagine that a pharmacy had to be a state pharmacy, if you have to think that a butchery has to be a municipal butchery, come on, it was too much. So it came to the point where, while it had helped us to build a sense of being a nation and of equality in society, it wasn't egging us a lot to develop, to produce more. So my predecessor, who was the second president of the Republic, decided